Okay. Hey, good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? I was just taking a distraction off of my desk. Happy Wednesday, as the case is. It is 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and we are here, um, as usual, to continue our daily quick hit trainings on how to use LinkedIn to generate appointments for your business. And we started out on Monday with setting the messaging by going through our market to message match training. And we moved on till Tuesday with dissecting the three most important points of your LinkedIn profile. We call that our 3-point power profile training. And now you are ready, if you've gone through those two trainings, to begin to connect and message people. And so today's topic is messaging. So before I get into that, though, I want to introduce my co-host, Ronen Rahman, who is behind the green curtain.
He's behind the green curtain, pulling levers.
He's like the Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. Hey, no, this is a great conversation. It does continue from what we started on Monday. The way I always relate to it is I've got my fancy suit on now, and I'm ready to go digital.
Digital networking, I think is what the word you're looking for.
And a little dead spot on the brain there. But so here's the thing. We're live. And because we're live, it means you can ask us questions. You can make comments. Now, even if you're watching this on a rebroadcast, you can still do that. We do circle back. We get notifications, so we answer questions when they come up. So feel free to do that. Here's a little reminder for you, the crawl at the bottom. But let's have some fun today, shall we?
Interact. Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to scoot out and let you do your thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Ronen. Okay, so the reason we include messaging, and not just messaging, but the specifics of how to connect, how to message and nurture relationships, and how to ask for appointments is because a lot of people get stuck on this. And it's a bit of an art form. And so we got a lot of different strategies and techniques and what have you that we utilize for this. We want to share some of the best ones with you right now. So I'm going to have Ronen dive on into my slides here. Let me flip on over to those. And I'm going to show you some very specific examples. Whoops, it's sharing on the wrong screen because I re-plugged in my computer. Let me see if I can flip that. There we go. Ronen will tell me if it's wrong. All right, so you should be seeing this orange slide that says connecting and messaging now. And the first theme or the first concept I want you to write down, take a screenshot of is this. Make it all about them. Make it all about the person you are connecting with. Make it all about the person you are messaging to. This is not the time yet to start pitching your services and talking about your business and you don't want to make it all about you. You really don't want to make it about you at all. If you've done your work, if you've done the work that we've talked about on Monday and yesterday with your headline and your market to message match statements and your profile, you don't need to really say anything about you at all especially in this early phase of messaging and connecting with people, because that information is carried along with your connection message. That information is carried along with your messaging. Every time you message somebody on LinkedIn, they see your profile picture and they see your headline every time. And if you've done that work well, then everything else will fall into place. Okay, so make it all about them. And I'm going to show you some very specific examples of how to do that. It's not complicated, so don't expect that you need some sort of like degree to figure this stuff out. It's simple, it works, and it's effective. So here we go. Here's what we use for connecting with someone. So this is an example from our client, Joe Kennemore. And here he is making a connection request to Simon. And it's simply this: Simon, hope you are doing well. Let's connect here on LinkedIn, signed Joe. And it's very simple. I know it seems maybe a little too simple. It's designed this way because, like I said just a moment ago, when Simon sees this on the receiving end, he is seeing Joe's full headline. So he knows what Joe's about. He doesn't have to guess. If he wants to know more, he can go and click on Joe's profile. And because we've done the work for Joe on his profile, it explains everything there as well. Or he might just simply accept the connection request just from the headline statement, which resonates with Simon already. We know this because we have developed this campaign for him. So, and we've done the work. So that's it. And some key words here that I want to point out, because maybe they're obvious, maybe they're not. The first is using the person's name in the connection message. That makes it about them, obviously, because you're using their name. And the second key word that you want to use as often as possible is the word you. And you can see we've used that word you right up front. Again, that inherently makes your communication about the other person. Both the word you and the word your is another good word to use throughout your messaging. And you'll see other examples of that as I continue on here. So that's it. Use this, copy it. This works all the time. The other thing I'll point out here, we've all been on the receiving end of these cheesy, silly, cliche messages, like crossing my fingers that you'll accept my connection request, or you showed up as a suggested person to connect with on my LinkedIn feed, or we are connected with a lot of the same people. I thought I'd connect with you. Nobody believes that stuff. It's made up. It's cliche. It's silly. It's become unprofessional. So don't do any of that. Just keep it real, keep it simple, and you'll get a lot further along. All right, next. So once you connect with somebody, what do you do? And so we immediately thank them for accepting our connection request. So here's an example of where Ronan responded to John, a new connection, saying, "Hi, John, thanks for connecting. I hope all is well with you." There's that keyword again, you, and business is good at Allegiance. So we've introduced yet another way to make this message about the other person by mentioning the name of their company, Allegiance in this example. So we've used their first name, we've used that magical word you, and we have used now their company name. And again, when Ronan sends that, John again sees Ronan's headline. He knows, maybe he's already looked at Ronan's profile. We don't know necessarily, but we do know that John has some understanding of what Ronan is about because John is seeing Ronan's headline. Okay, next, I'm going to give you a strategy here for how you can nurture new or even existing relationships. This is actually something that I heard at a seminar. Gosh, it must have been 10, 12 years ago. And the person was suggesting that as a really interesting way to get someone's attention is that we buy a magazine or a newspaper that might be in the category of interest of the person we want to connect with, and we find an article in that magazine. We literally with scissors clip the article out of the magazine, put a Post-it note on it and say, "Hey, John, I read this article in such and such a magazine. I thought it might be of interest to you." Fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it literally in the mailbox. Okay. And so this next strategy is the same kind of thing, but doing that in a digital fashion. And so here's how it works. You basically go to Google and you do some searches on Google. You find some information, some content that might be of interest or value to the person that you've connected with or someone you may already be connected with. And you simply cut and paste the link to that article. So this one that Ronan found for John came from this website called business2community.com. I think it's a blog of some sort. And Ronan basically says, this article is something I thought you might be interested in. And then he ends it with a question for John, which is a really powerful way to end a message because it sometimes incites a response, right? So don't just put a period at the end of your message when you're doing this. Ask a question. And so he reads, he says, "John, have you experienced what this article is describing? And what's your strategy for going after those technology dollars?" Again, he wants a response, but look at this. He's used 3 key words in here, right? To make it about John. John's name, the word you, and the word your, and it works, right? It's not overdone. It's a simple way to make it about them and also get a response. And in this particular case, John did respond. I'll show you what he responded with. He said, "Thanks for sharing these articles with me," and asks Ronan for an appointment. So it doesn't always happen that easily when you're not making the ask for an appointment. But in this particular case, John did ask Ronan for an appointment, provided Ronan with his personal information, his cell phone, his email, the whole thing, and even his calendar booking link. And that's how this works. And because you're being cool, You're not making anything about you yet. You're just really showing some care and concern about the other person. Sometimes this will happen. It may take a few weeks for you to get this kind of a response, but it's worth it if you've done all the work. Okay, so the last message I want to show you is just how would you ask somebody for an appointment? So let's say you sent this article to John and he doesn't respond with anything, or he doesn't respond with giving you all of his contact information overtly. Simply ask, hey, it's been great being connected. I'd like to find out more about you and your work at insert company name. If you have time, I'd like to have a quick 15-minute chat. You can message me back or click on my schedule or link. So after you've sent some of these messages, you've been cool, you've nurtured, if you will, the new relationship a bit. Go for it. Ask for an appointment, and you will get some positive responses to this. Sometimes you may get someone asking you what's the nature of why you want to have a conversation. Be honest. Okay. I mean, tell them, look, I work with other business professionals like you. I would like to learn about your work at the company. And if it makes sense, I'd love to share a little bit about what I do as well. So just be honest about it. They'll either say great or they'll say not interested. It's okay. But this is a friendly way, a simple way to ask somebody to have that initial conversation. And that's really what I wanted to share in terms of messaging. So I'm going to back out of this keynote presentation, come back to video, and there you go. I was going to say bring on Ronan, who's already here.
Dude, I've done this way too many times.
Yes, we have. Like about, 100 at this point.
Which, I want to acknowledge you for doing that, because it takes something to get on air every day and deliver, and you do.
Thank you very much. Well, I actually enjoy it, but I appreciate your compliment.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add to this conversation, Ronan?
Yeah, the idea that if you relate it to, networking live, you wouldn't run up to somebody, throw your business card in their hand, ask them for an appointment. You get to know people, you get to build some kind of relationship with people, and those articles are a great way to do it. We get people who respond to those articles or whatever the content is that you send them. And some of them are like very thoughtful. Some are just simply appreciative. Hey, thank you. But a lot of them are very thankful, and also will write long paragraphs about what they agree with, what they don't agree with, and it's the way to engage with people, like you be having a conversation face to face, which gives you the opening to say, hey, you know what? Why don't we sit down and have a quick 15-minute chat? I'd love to get to know more about your business. And that's the opportunity to really go in there and have that conversation and start a whole new relationship and hopefully get some business out of it. So, 100%. There's always the urgency maybe in you, but you don't want to do that. Like, you wouldn't do it in person. Don't do it online.
There's a lot to be said about pausing and being patient.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. You can't force people into business with you.
So yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
tomorrow, one of the things that you do want to do though, is you want to increase the quantity of who the kinds of people that you're connecting with. So, if you did this just a few times with a few different people, you're probably not going to get a great result. So tomorrow we're going to show you how to find people in your market using both the included free LinkedIn search tool. And there's some tips and some technique that we've learned throughout the years that will be helpful for you. We're also going to show you how we use Sales Navigator, which is LinkedIn's paid, very robust search feature to dive really deep and really get a targeted group of people. I hate using that term, targeted group of people. It sounds like I'm shooting people. That's just not what we're doing here. A qualified list of potential people that you might do business with. I don't know. We'll come up with a better word for that. But Sales Navigator is super powerful, and we'll show you how we use that to develop these lists. So you can message not just a few people that make sense, but dozens or even hundreds of people to increase your likelihood that you'll enter into a business relationship with someone. So that's what we got tomorrow morning.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be great. and have a powerful and wonderful day, everybody. Take care.